All right, what is going on, everybody? It is Gis, and today I bring you yet another filler video because the From Zero series is tough, dude. We're locked in Vardorvis, we can't really do anything about that, and Leagues is on Wednesday, and we are going to be doing a Leagues video tomorrow to tell you what I'm going to be doing for that Leagues, but until then, you're going to have to wait, and we're going to do a skills tier list. So, I'm going to put the TLDR right here. If you want to hear what I said about your favorite skill, it'll be timestamped. You can go ahead and fast forward to that, but this is the TLDR snapshot of you, for you, right here, right here. No real, like, measurements on these that I explicitly said, but it was just like, make sure everybody's covered, make sure everybody's happy, make sure the skill has good use cases, and it, like, feels good to train, etc., etc. I sort of, like, yap about it, so. And now let's get into it. So, who do I want to knock out first, dude? Let's knock out the combat skills first, because I think combat skills are a little bit in their own thing, because they're not really, like, skills, you know? So let's go ahead and do the combat. And I'm going to start with my personal favorite, magic. This goes in one of the best skills. Reason being, this covers combat, this covers utility, this covers travel, this covers everything you need in the game. It's the thing that you start with, it's the thing that you're going to keep using for the entirety of your journey through the game, and there's kind of just no replacement for it. And I think it's the most fleshed out, but it's also a little bit confused in the way that it calculates like damage in combat and whatnot, but that's not really what we're here for. I'm here for like the skill itself and what it brings to the game, and magic certainly gives us sort of just everything we need, right? So I don't think there's really an argument for putting this skill in like one of the best skills. It definitely beats out the next one that I want to talk to, which is ranged. I think ranged, we have decent variety for ranged. I think we do lack a little bit in the use cases for range, which kind of sucks because it is really cool, which is weird because it's sort of just like click and wait. But the things that you can do with range are really interesting, like Wooks walking and being able to play with your tiles that you have available with ranged combat is nice. And I do like the variety of weapons, although it does sort of just become T-bow simulator at a certain point, or like specking with a Zarite crossbow. And I have like a visceral hatred for the Zarite crossbow. I don't think it should exist, but it does. It's just a really boring special attack weapon. Not that it's like bad or anything like that. I just think it's sort of unhealthy and sort of annoying that we have it. I'm going to put range in like, I'm going to change this tier name to like, it's fine. You're close, it's fine. If I have to, and please go away. I think I like this better. Range is like fine. I don't really have any big complaints for ranged. I think in the future, what I would want to see for range is just a little bit more of like dedicated bosses, because what do we even have for dedicated bosses for range anymore? Kind of just like nothing. And there's also no real like utility like that magic has. Like this is just incomparable. I feel like the gap is almost here as far as like skill wise goes. We're not really talking about combat, but I guess we have to talk about combat because combat is a skill. Attack, let's just go like, let's go if I have to, because you're usually just doing this to get access to your weapons. And the moment you have access to your weapons, you're not really doing this anymore. So I'm just going to put this in if I have to. It doesn't really have that big of an impact on your overall DPS. It's just, it gives you access to the weapon, and then you're doing strength. Strength is close. I like that strength affects our max hit, and it doesn't require you to have any sort of weapon. Like if you just get base 99 strength, you can already punch like a 22 or something like that. I don't know what the base max hit is, but it's pretty large. So strength is super important. It's super nice. It doesn't really allow us to do anything that crazy, but it does give you access to like defense training, special attacks, and whatnot. So I think I'm going to actually drop strength to like, it's fine. I don't think it's quite near close. I think it's just fine. Like it gives us max hit, it's damage, it's cool, but it's not that interesting. Whereas I'm going to be really weird here, okay? I know defense doesn't matter, but after making so many different accounts, defense is like so nice to have, because having access to gear sets that give you these beneficial effects is such an important thing in this game when you want like a completed account, right? With playing all my restricted accounts that I've played, that you guys have not seen quite yet. By the way, if you are new here, go ahead and drop a sub, drop a like, all that good stuff. I do release OSRS content every single week if I can, but I do take vacations here and there, as most people do. And we'll be doing a lot of Leagues content, so you're going to want to stick around for it. It's going to be pretty insane. So stick around for the video tomorrow, probably, about what we're doing for Leagues. But anyway, I think defense, I'm going to rank a little bit higher than I think a lot of people would, because it gives you access to so many interesting armor sets. And if you didn't have it, you wouldn't have access to those interesting armor sets, and it becomes a little more boring. But I do think at a certain point, defense would drop to, like, it's fine. I think once you pass, I don't know, 75 or 80 defense, it gets boring again. But up until that point, it's just always interesting. You're always getting something new. So I like defense a good bit. I know a lot of people don't, but I think it's pretty damn cool. And I think that's all of our combats out. So, oh, HP, it's fine. Like, whatever, it's fine. HP is good. It helps us live. HP is fine. Let's go ahead and knock out, how about prayer then? So prayer, I think, it's one of these, because it is also in that same, I'm going to put it in the same category of defense, because I feel sort of the same way I do about defense as I do about prayer here, is that when you don't have access to those high tier prayers, you notice, and it's like, wow, this is so nice to have access to. Because if I didn't, I would be doing either A, so much less damage, or B, taking so much more damage because I don't have my protection prayers. And that's such a crucial part of the game that I would put prayer pretty high. And to boot, its XP rates are really fast. I think between attack, strength, and HP, the XP rates are really slow. And then ranged is like good XP if you're chinning, otherwise, meh. And then magic has like a bajillion ways you can train it. It's awesome because magic is just like the best combat skill in the game for sure, bar none. So yeah, let's keep prayer right next to defense. I think they're very similar. All right, so now I want to talk about the skill that I have been training currently, which would be sailing. Sailing is, I'm going to put it in, it's fine. I know a lot of people would put it in like, if I have to, or please go away. I think I'm going to put it in, it's fine. I know a lot of people have qualms with sailing. I don't really have that many qualms with sailing. Is it the most interesting thing? No. But is it fine? Yeah. And I think once they iron out a bunch of the clunkiness of it and give us more content to do with sailing, it becomes more approachable and more exciting to train. But currently it does just feel like it's another AFK skill, or if you want to do Barracuda Trials, you can. But personally, it's just an AFK skill for me, so like it's fine. I don't mind AFK skills. Like they should be there to balance out the like super active skills like agility, runecrafting, fletching, all that kind of thing. Although I guess you can AFK fletching, but like if you want to do the high octane skilling methods, then I think sailing is a good break from that, and it fills that role. But I do think a lot of its methods leave something to be desired. Like deep sea trawling, for whatever reason, is terrible XP. The method itself is really cool and like interesting and fun, but it's not worth the XP rates that you get, so it feels kind of bad. And I know that they might not change that because they want to do this like arbitrary balancing of like, oh, if it's high GP and effort, then it can't be good XP or whatever. And I disagree with that sentiment a little bit. Like if it's high effort, I feel like it should just almost always be high XP, even if the GP is good. Like who cares? It's never going to be the best GP in the game, so why do we care if it's like 5 mil an hour? Like does that matter? Can skillers not have anything, bro? Like skillers can have something, right? So I think if they rebalance the XP distribution a little bit more than they have, we would be in a good spot with sailing. So I think for now, it's like fine. And once I'm trying to give it a little bit of future sight here. When they do put more in the game, it'll be better. Okay, let's talk about the skill that I just recently maxed, mining. This, for some reason, became one of my favorites. I'm going to put it in best skills. Reason being, I know a lot of people will be like, mining, what the hell, dude? Why are you training that? It has so many good methods that other skills do not have. You have access to whatever you want to do with mining. If you have an idea for, you want to go do 3-tick, you want to go do 2-tick, you want to go do pure AFK, you want to go do volcanic mine, you want to go do Volcano, you want to go do like day alt giga AFK. You just have anything that you want to do with mining, you just go do it. And I think there is a method for everybody in mining. It is really well fleshed out. Do you think the whole like smithing, mining, rebalance thing, like, yeah, why does it take so long to get access to rune? Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it is what it is. It's fine. It doesn't really matter that much. I don't think it would change that much if they were reduced, because one, what would we replace them with? And two, it's not really that big of a deal because you can get rune armor in so many other different ways. It's kind of whatever. So mining, definitely one of my personal favorites. I love that you get a bunch of different methods, and the XP an hour is basically your pick of the litter, from anywhere from 10k an hour, 5k an hour, all the way up to like 120, 125, 130k an hour if you want to do the higher octane methods. Which, by the way, if you haven't tried Volcano after they did that rebalance where you can pick all XP or a mix or all GP or whatever, If you do the all XP method, it's like 100k an hour in small teams, like 3 to 5 people. 100% you should go try it. All right, next up, let's do the elephant in the room. Firemaking. Why does it exist? You know, I was really hoping that sailing and firemaking would go like hand in hand when sailing came out, and we would get some firemaking scaling sort of cannonballs or cannons in general or whatever, but we just ended up getting nothing. So we have bonfires and west walking for firemaking, and then winter taught, I guess, but I don't know, man. Like, there's just no reason to train this thing. It's just a 99 cape on the way to max, which is pretty depressing, but I don't think there's really anything you can much do about it. All right, I spotted another best skill, construction, bar none. 1, some of the fastest XP rates in the game. 2, one of the most useful things you could get on any account. Getting a maxed house is a game changer. Gets you to your bosses faster, gets you to your clue steps faster, gets you to quests faster, gets you to everything faster. Everything is just sped up, you save a bunch of time, and getting it to 99 really doesn't take that much time, and I highly recommend you do that fairly early on into your account. Get like some established gear, and then I would just start investing into your house. Maybe get to like the 80, what is it, 83 or something like that. I forget what you have to get to the pool. I think it's 83. It's 83 or 84 to get to the fully upgraded pool. Once you have that, you're golden. Okay, let's talk about another one that I am not that big of a fan of. I'm not going to put it in Please Go Away because it has its uses, but I do not like training it. So I'm putting it in if I have to. It does go above attack. If I have to train agility, I will. Shortcuts are useful, especially if you're a clue stepper. Getting the VLD caves shortcut is like basically, it's required in my opinion. But man, I do wish we had like 1 or 2 additional agility methods to train with, because currently it sort of just feels like do a rooftop or do sepulcher. And it would be really nice if we had like any other option whatsoever, you know? Okay, who should we talk to? Let's do, because we talked about agility, I feel like these go hand in hand. We're going to talk about runecrafting. I'm putting runecrafting in. Runecrafting is fine. It has plenty of training methods. It should cater to just about everyone. I don't know why this skill gets complained about that much. Yes, the XP rates are pretty bad, but they're no worse than like AFK mining or agility or fishing or Slayer. Like, it's not that bad. And you have so many options now, especially with sailing. With the addition of sailing, we did get the there's the new like astral runecrafting method where you can sail over to Lunar Isle and do astrals that way. We have Aether runecrafting, we have ZMI, we have Goater, we have lavas, we have, like, if you have money you can get runners. There's just, I think there's enough for runecrafting where you, Bloods and Souls, I almost forgot, Bloods and Soul altar crafting. Not True Blood, True Soul, but just like the Zaya Blood and Soul crafting. Yeah, I feel like if whatever you want to do with runecrafting, you just do it, and it's not going to be that bad. I personally am not a fan of Blood and Soul crafting and Zaya. I'm a ZMI guy, and ZMI just feels sort of like agility. I think the biggest thing holding runecrafting back is the fact that you have to repair your pouches, which can get super, super annoying and sort of like ruin your flow, which is not great. There's no other skill in the game where your flow gets ruined, except for like farming, I guess, and sort of Slayer. But like your flow of runecrafting gets interrupted by the fact that you have to repair the pouches, which is super annoying. And I wish they would just do away with it. It's sort of archaic and pointless. There's no real reason for it to exist. So let's talk about Slayer then, because we just mentioned it. So for Slayer, Slayer's a tough one because Slayer gives you access to some good bosses. I say good like loosely. They're like decent. And it's decent money. It's a decent way to train your combat stats if you don't want to AFK them or whatever. So I think it is just resoundingly decent. And I think the only thing really holding it back is the fact that you can't choose your task. You have to tutorial skip if you want to look for a specific task. You have to bank a bunch of points if you just want to like skip or like buy anything of use. And its XP is fairly slow. It's better now with Tormented Demons, and I hope we can keep going in that direction to make it a little bit more like stomachable. But it is really, really slow, and it takes a really long time to get to the really rewarding Slayer bot or Slayer monsters in general, besides Tormented Demons. But even still, you have to do Walgothic Sleep, so it does still take a while to get to those. But the like classic, you know, gargoyles and up the like iconic Slayer mobs, it does take a while to get to them. I guess you get Dust Devils early and like Blood Velds, which are okay, but they're not, you know, exciting by any means. So I think Slayers are going to remain, and it's fine. I almost want to put it in if I have to, but it's good enough. It's good enough. All right, cooking. I think cooking and firemaking are fairly similar. Like there's no real reason to train cooking, but at least cooking has like interesting things you can do to train it. Like if you want to do one tick karambwans, you can do that. If you want to do Hosidius Kitchen, I guess you can do that. If you want to do the mess hall, you can do that. If you want to do like a money-making way all the way up, which I guess you sort of do in general, you can do that. There's like the Myth Guild bank range thing. Cooking is very much if I have to. It's fast like firemaking, but firemaking literally has no purpose. Cooking, I can at least cook something to like make a little bit of money. Firemaking just literally doesn't do anything. So I'm going to put firemaking in. Please go away. Please rework something, you know. So I think cooking goes if I have to. Like, yeah, it's a 99 cape. Yeah, it's AFK. Yeah, it's fast, but like, who cares? Like, I would rather the skill be interesting. You know what I mean? I think that's where I'm putting it on the list. Like, I want it to be interesting. I want it to have utility. I want it to be, you know, fun to train. I want to be excited about leveling it up and getting to the next tier, so on and so forth. So that being said, let's talk about our friend Herblore. Now, this is a weird one because we're like, I'm trying to fuse Iron Man and Main Brain into one, but mostly Main Brain. And Herblore doesn't have that much use, but it is a nice thing to train. We've added Mastering Mixology. We have ways to actually make money with Herblore now instead of it being a giant money sink for a 99 cape if you're trying to max. It's really useful to have it in chambers so you can make your own potions if you need to. If you're doing no preps, it doesn't really matter, but it's nice in a pinch if you need to make the upgraded potions for chambers. And then, of course, with the addition of the Elf City, we do have access to crystal shards, which makes the divine potions. And divine potions make you a good bit of money. So I think overall, this category is very big now. I'm going to put Herblore in. It's fine. And I think I'm going to put it in between Sailing and Slayer. And I think I'm going to move HP to the bottom. I think I'm going to move all the direct combat ones to the bottom. And I think they're in about that order. They're fine, but I do think these four I would be more inclined to like do something with than just like shooting something, hitting something, getting HP, XP, you know? Like these aren't interesting. Okay, up next, farming. A lot of people don't like this skill. I like it because it makes money early on an account. And I like it in the routine that I play the game in. I would log in, do a farm run, do whatever I'm going to do for the day, completely ignoring this skill. Right before I'm going to go to bed or log out for the day, we'll do another farm run, we'll cash that in, we're good to go. All I did for 99 farming, hardwood trees and herbs. That was it. I made money and I planted hardwood trees. So every 3 days I would go do my hardwood trees on login as I did my herb run. And that was it. Like it was really simple, just clean way to make some extra cash and sort of go from there. And you got Hespori now with the farming guild. I do think the farming guild is a really nice addition because you could sort of just, if you aren't a big farm runner, you can just go to the farming guild, do all your farming there. And you don't even have to like worry about doing like the full run. You can just go plant everything in the farming guild. And that's kind of fine. And do your Hespori, right? So this category is very big. But this does not sway me one way or the other. I'm going to try to be a little more critical from here on. But I think farming is like fine. I would rather train Slayer than farming. I might rather train Herblore than farming. Maybe I can move Herblore down here. I'd probably rather go do some AFK sailing. I would probably rather go do some ZMI. Maybe I'd rather do some Slayer over ZMI over these guys. Probably. But like whatever. And then all these I think I'm still pretty sold on. Okay, so fishing. Fishing is another one that I just recently got to 99 on my maxing journey. Fishing is... It doesn't have like that big of a use case, but I think there are so many methods and it's pretty well fleshed out. I think the only issue is the XP rates could use a second passing, in my opinion. I think the current best fishing XP in the game is 2-tick harpooning, which caps out at like 200k an hour, I think, with like no mistakes. Somewhere in that range, like 180 to 220k an hour, something like that. Which is good. It's pretty good, but keeping that up for that amount of time is a little bit strenuous. So I think most of the time you end up AFKing, and if you're AFK fishing, I think the best thing you can do is Karambwans, which I'm pretty sure caps out at like 40 to 50k an hour. So it's a pretty slow skill, and there really isn't that much use for it in the entire game. So it's sort of just something you do on second monitor and just like leave it there. It's not that engaging unless you're doing like 2 or 3 tick fishing. But I mean, it's more fleshed out than these other guys, except for maybe Runecrafting. It feels like you have more options to at least attempt to do something interesting or faster, and the other skills sort of don't. But I don't think I want to put it on the same level that I have Defense and Prayer as far as like overall, how does this skill make me feel? I think the whole right side of the skill column is sort of in this weird middle ground where it's like fine, but I hate putting things in the it's fine category. But like a lot of skills to me are just fine. But if I'm rating it on being a complete fleshed out skill with plenty of options, barring the XP rates, I would be willing to put it here. It just doesn't have that much practical use, but I don't think I could put it on the same pedestal as something like Magic or Construction, where they had very intentional designs behind them that the other skills wouldn't necessarily have. So I might try and reorganize this list a little bit based on that fact, but I think it's still pretty much there with that philosophy in mind. So going on that philosophy, let's talk about a Hunter, because Hunter has gotten some pretty good upgrades. I think before the Hunters Guild and Varlamore came out, this skill was really, really bad. It's basically just birdhouses. I do think birdhouses were a mistake, because it's really hard to beat their effective XP an hour, since it takes you about a minute to do a full birdhouse run. And when you're doing redwood birdhouses, which is what I'm doing now, I think it's 6,000 XP per run, and no, it's not quite 6,000. I think it's like 4,800 XP a run. So call it 5k XP a run, right? And you can do it in a minute. So you can do that 60 times an hour effectively, right? So it's about 300k XP an hour, which is really, really, really hard to beat, if at all possible to beat, with like maybe Tick Manip chinning. So if birdhouses didn't exist, maybe this skill would be a little bit more interesting for me. But the fact that birdhouses exist just make it feel like a worse farming, which is weird. But it does just feel sort of like a worse farming, because you have to upkeep them so much more often, and you're more inclined to do so, but it is just so much XP. But eliminating birdhouses, we still have Irby if you want like a chill method. We have Rumors if you want a little bit more active method. We have Tick Manip chinning if you want like a super active method. And there's nothing you can really do for like AFK Hunter XP that I can think of. I guess you can do like the Maniacal Monkeys from Monkey Menace 2, which is like 70k an hour, and it's like semi-AFK. It's not super AFK, but it's definitely low effort. So I think this skill it's close to being like super fleshed out, super useful, great XP, great methods, all of that. I almost want to bump Runecrafting up one, because it does have so many options, where I feel like these don't. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put Runecrafting at the bottom. It's super fleshed out. It has so many different options. Let's put Defense at the bottom, and let's put Prayer at the bottom. Maybe like this, because Prayer has a little bit more going on, and Defense is just a little bit more interesting than the other combat skills. And then let's do like Runecrafting, then Hunter, then Fishing for now. I think I like that, because all of these have so many different methods that you can do. You're not like locked to one thing that's the best XP an hour. You can do whatever you want. So I like this a good bit. And then Fletching, I think Fletching I'm going to also put up here above. Yeah, I'll put it above everything, because Fletching is a really nice 0-time skill. You can do it when you're doing agility. You can do it when you're questing. You can do it when you're doing whatever in the game, if you're just running around. You can do it bank standing. You can do it AFK. You can do it super active. You can do it in a way that makes money. You can do it in a way that where you burn 150 million GP to get 99 and get it like super, super fast. So Fletching is super well rounded. The only thing with Fletching is it doesn't have that much of a use, realistically, except for like Diary and the Cape. Like you're not Fletching anything ever, really. So I think that's why I'll put it in your close. Like if there was a reason to do it, like we got some untradeable thing, like making overloaded arrows or some shit like that, then like maybe, but that's never gonna happen. So we'll put it with everybody else that's like super fleshed out, Bunch of different methods. You can pick whatever you want. That's your most favorite, and you're good to go. All right, wood chopping. Let's talk about wood chopping. Let me think about wood chopping. We have 2 techniques. We have 1.5 techniques. We have AFK redwoods. We have AFK ironwoods, rosewoods. We have forestry, if you want to do forestry. I think the problem with woodcutting, barring Tickmanic methods, is that it's just woodcutting. You know, it is effectively chop tree, unlock next tree, chop next tree, unlock next tree, chop next tree. And that doesn't really change. So I think for woodcutting, I will put it... I think I'm just going to put it here. It's fine. It's fine. It has a decent amount of training methods with variable XP rates depending on how much effort you want to put into the skill. Does it have something for everybody? I think so. It has something for the AFKers. It has something for like the middle grounders with like forestry. It has something for the high intensity guys with the 1.5, 2 techniques. It has good variation. You get to go to different environments. Sailing expanded it a little bit so you can make some money with your ironwoods and rosewoods and whatnot. So it's pretty decent. Oh, I also forgot for Fletching they added Veil Totems, by the way. Yeah, Fletching is just like definitely at the top. It's almost one of the better skills now with Veil Totems, now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, I thought about it because you can woodcut. I thought about it because you can woodcut while you're doing Veil Totems, which like puts woodcutting a little bit higher. There's like sort of a woodcutting minigame now besides just forestry, which is kind of cool. But you can only really do it with like maples, and it's sort of Iron Man-y. So I think I'm good with it there. It's fine. Thieving. Let's talk about thieving. I don't know why this icon is so big. I'm putting thieving in if I have to. And I'm going to put it above agility because I would rather train thieving and agility. But it's such an if I have to skill, you know? Yeah, you can foot pedal it in Artie if you want to on Artie Nights. You can AFK it in Varlamore now, which is nice. You can do Rogue Chess if you want like super fast XP. Like it has its methods, but then the reward, you know? The reward is just nothing. It's a skill cape. So if I have to thieve, I'll thieve, which is one of my remaining 99s. So I will, if I have to, which I will at some point. But I'm not excited about it. All right, crafting. I hate to judge it now because the crafting island is going to come out. Once the crafting island is out, it's going to be a lot nicer. But at the current moment, it's a bank standing skill where you either need a lot of money, a lot of time, or a lot of patience, or a combination of all of them. Because buy limits are kind of annoying if you want to do like battle staves. It doesn't have a good AFK loop for bank standing. It just doesn't really have that many good training methods. I'm gonna put it in if I have to. And I think I would put it below everything. Like I don't love having to train crafting. There's just nothing interesting about it, really. Unfortunately. Yeah. Unlucky. Okay, last but not least is smithing. Smithing. We have Giant's Foundry. We have Blast Furnace, and we have smithing on an anvil. So we have everything covered, I think. We have covered for AFKers. We have it covered for like the middle of the road if you just want to do some anvil smithing. And then we have it covered for the high intensity at Blast Furnace. And then the other middle of the road at Giant's Foundry if you want to get some like clogs going and everything. So I think it's fine in that regard. And as far as XP rates and training methods go, it's covered. I think where smithing lacks is its use cases. There's not much you can do with smithing, right? It's just a skill cape. It's not all that interesting. Its output is pretty bad, all things considered, which is sort of where fishing is. And I almost want to move fishing down. I think I will. I'm going to move fishing to above woodcutting, and I think I might move smithing. Man, is this going to be a hot take? I might put smithing above prayer here in the You're Close section. Because I think if smithing got a use case for training the skill, which I guess Hunter doesn't, but it has such great methods that it's fine. And I think that's where smithing is too. Like if either of these skills got something to do with the skill by the end, besides being like semi-okay moneymakers that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, they'd be really neat skills. So let me take one last look at this and make sure I'm convinced. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sold on this list. I don't really have any complaints about this list. And that'll be it for the tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you stick around. Our league's content is going to go crazy. Do not miss it. I think I have one of the best plans going in. Do not miss it. I think I have one of the best plans going in. Catch you in the next one. Catch you in the next one.